Iron. I'm Jon Andersen. Meet my co-hosts, Nick Best and Akim Williams. We're going to have some amazing guests on the show. Buckle up tight, because we're going to be talking about the shit you're not supposed to be talking about. We're going to be discussing anything and everything it takes to become a Legend of Iron. Legends of Iron is brought to you by MuscleMeds. Welcome to another edition of Legends of Iron. I am Jon Andersen. With me always my partners in crime, Nick Best and Akim Williams. We have got a killer show for you today. We've got we've got two Brazilian beauties for you here today. Fitness superstar, ultimately, Alessandra ALVES and ARETHA LUZ. These are the two beauties we've got here for you today. Now, Alessandra,
thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Alessandra is basically, she's kind of our focus of our episode, and ARETHA is her translator, but she gives us a lot of great stuff too. So we got the combo. We are really excited for today's show. We've got two Brazilian beauties on hand for you here today. So let's get this baby started. Real quick, I must say, Alessandra, you have got some legs that most people, or most men, I should say, would love to have, but even more they would love to have. And that's going to lead us right into our first question in terms of you're beautiful. You got this great physique. You've got, really big muscular legs, and you got a muscular physique as a whole, but you find that's difficult in terms of finding a relationship. Obviously, some men are probably intimidated because you're stronger than they are. You have relationship problems or having a difficult time finding a good man?
Não, nunca tive dificuldade, não.
Of course, it's not any guy that would get to her, but the ones that are brave enough to do it, they're going to succeed, But of course, she's thanking you guys for the invitation, all the compliments about her legs.
Absolutely. Speaking of your legs, Alessandra, we need to let the viewers really have a firsthand look. So can you stand up and back up from the camera so everybody can see what a beautiful physique you have?
Oh, she's wearing leggings.
Look at that.
She's hiding the game.
Everybody knows, Alessandra, everybody knows you from your Instagram, but obviously to be able to see you, and hear you talking and actually have you stand up, it's going to help them really get an idea of how special this interview is. So thank you for standing up. We appreciate it.
She's thanking so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So there's no question that we see in the Brazilian culture, it seems like females especially, there's big legs, big butts is like a really common thing. I personally think it's great. I love it. So I'm just curious. Is there a cultural thing? Is that really important with it? Nick, what's so funny? Tell me you don't like a big butt too.
Oh, I got no complaints. My wife
yeah,
is
to say Callie
very well endowed.
Got that covered for you. Exactly.
She does. She does.
The question is it a Brazilian thing? Because it seems like in your culture, that's a very common thing. We need some of that in America. I want to know, what is it about Brazil that gives you guys the motivation to build these wonderful butts?
So she thinks about our genetics because we are all mixed. She has heritage from Indians, Black people, actually we don't know, like it's our background.
That's all right.
Like, and of course, he was giving even the example of her mom, that her mom never trained, and she's already an old lady and still have good tights, a good body, so it's something genetic from us. So we just enhance our genetics.
There we go. Okay.
You're enhancing your genetics and you're working hard in the process is basically what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her favorite leg exercise that like just destroys her legs and gives her the results that she's looking for. What's her favorite exercise for legs for that?
She loves to squat, so
Yeah.
it's the main exercise for her.
Me too.
So she's always squatting to focus on quads, hamstrings, glutes, on everything. So it's the basic exercise that she's always doing.
Let's those big legs have got to be moving some weights. What's the most she's ever squatted?
Total.
No total.
She squatted 175 kilos.
Oh man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Eu
That's
pego
pretty good.
bastante peso.
Let me put in pounds. Hold on.
That's like almost
385.
just shy of 400
385
pounds.
pounds. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just shy of 400 pounds. That's great shit. That's good stuff, Alessandra. Very cool. Yeah. Hell,
Very
there's a lot of men in America that wish they could squat
Yeah, there are.
that.
She has a lot of American fans, of course, and every time that she's squatting with with amount of weight, all of them talk about this and say they couldn't do it just like her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
So in America, we deal with like all three of us, myself, Nick, Akim, we all deal with different points of criticism. Sometimes the general public doesn't understand being big, being strong, and kind of doing what we do. Is that the same? Do you have that way? And especially for a female, females in America take even more criticism. Is that something that you guys have in Brazil? And does Alessandra feel that she's had to deal with a lot of criticism for having this beautiful physique?
Eu acho que no Brasil é mais ainda, a gente tem mais crítica e aqui o esporte ainda não é tão reconhecido quanto lá, né? Eu acho que aqui é um pouquinho pior, ainda mais eu, mulher, eu sofro muito preconceito, muita gente fala que, eu tô muito forte, não tô feminina mais, eles não têm, na verdade, eu acho que os homens aqui têm mais preconceito do que as próprias mulheres. Eles não conseguem admitir que uma mulher pode ficar mais forte que um homem, né? Ainda tá com essa coisa brasileira.
The majority of the criticism are from men, and because they don't accept that she could be like that and strong, and sometimes they say, "Oh, you're not feminine anymore. You're looking like a man."
No,
they are not.
at all.
Even if
No.
they are not like that, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. And but she has a lot of following of women too that they really like her physique and give her compliments too, not only criticize. So, but here in the sport is not that advanced as it is in US. So she always faced and she's already used to it, to a lot of this type of criticism.
Obviously, we can all vouch. She's absolutely beautiful. She's got a beautiful physique, and the people that talk shit about it, especially the men, that's because they just know they don't have a shot.
Eu acredito nisso.
She agrees with that.
Good. So, Alessandra, you're this wonderful physique. You're this beautiful lady, but obviously, most people only see social media. Talk to us about the parts of you that obviously you're a person, not just a physique. What is it about you that most people don't get to understand by seeing you on social media?
Basically, talking about her as her sense that people don't get it because people think that she's like super strong and mad, whatever, but she's not like that. Of course, she's a strong person. She already faced a lot of hardship in her life, but at the same time, she's sweet. She's nice. I can say she sometimes is like a kid. She's like a kid, and this sweetness, nobody get it, and when they get closer to her, they see how sweet, how different she is, and they appreciate that and say, oh, you're totally different from social media. That's awesome.
That's one of the things that I remember was that I was once I got to speak with her, I was very, very in a very wonderful regard, very surprised what a very sweet, just good person she is. A lot of times people don't. They look at this big, strong physique, this beautiful woman. They tend to sell that part. They tend to sell it short. The fact that she's got a good, wholesome quality. She's a good person. She's caring. She's loving, and I think that's one of the things that this podcast can help people see is that she's so much more than just this beautiful physique and a beautiful lady.
She's very happy about that, and she's appreciated a lot about your impressions about her because it's very true.
Yes, absolutely. So have her tell us how the whole thing with lifting weights, what inspired her to start?
Eu queria ser forte, eu achava desde criança.
So she started very young because she was really impressed about muscles, about being strong. She was already a strong kid, like I was calling her mom's attention. Oh, hey mom, I can lift this, I can do that, whatever. And she started at the gym. She was 14 and her goal was to look like Dragon Ball Z. So that's why she started.
Well, she's doing a pretty damn good job because she responds very well.
Say it again. Akim want to say something.
I want to know what a
You wanna be a dragon.
I want to know what a favorite character was.
Eu quero saber seu favorito. Seu favorito personagem, qual que é?
O meu, Goku.
Goku.
Oh, come on. Really?
Meu primeiro amor.
She disappoints me.
First love. Você decepcionou ele.
I thought she was gonna go for Frieza or something.
Não, Freeza
Ele achou que você ia gostar do Freeza. He's a bad guy. She doesn't like him.
He wants to be the good guy. That's perfect. No matter she resonates with the good ones, not the bad ones. That's good. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm all about the bad guys.
Oh,
all about the bad guys. Huh?
What is it? What is
and
it?
you don't look bad.
Really?
You don't
see
look
his face?
bad guy. Yeah.
Look.
I don't. You didn't try to be sorry.
I didn't scare you. You didn't like my bad guy face?
No.
It's not very scary.
Your intention was to be a bad guy. You didn't get it right yet.
Oh,
you have to train a little bit more in the mirror.
I have to practice some more.
Well, if you're the bad guy and I like being the good guy, why the hell do I got to ask all the messed up questions?
I tell you what, Aretha, my favorite character was Broly.
Broly? O favorito dele era o Broly.
O Brolin não é do... Não lembro do Brolin.
She doesn't remember the Broly.
The legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Either. The legendary Super Saiyan. Tell her to look up Broly. Broly is the strongest.
O Super Saiyajin.
Sim.
Super Saiyajin é o mais forte. Because here, we didn't have like cable, we didn't have access to all the cartoons. So probably it was later, and she was already grown up.
God, if I didn't have Popeye as a kid, I wouldn't have turned out this way. Shit, that's what got me eating my vegetables. Spinach is still my favorite vegetable. So, Alessandra, did somebody inspire you to want to, have the beautiful physique you have? Was there some female athlete that you saw and you looked up to? Who would you say would be like someone that you strive to admire? Who is it that kind of got you inspired to do what you do?
So she only got like access to internet and social media when she was around 18, 19. So since the beginning, she trains for herself, and she was her best inspiration. Of course, in Brazil, we have a lot of TV shows that show up really nice bodies, women with using only bikinis. So she got inspired in some way of this, but she always wanted something extra. you know, not only the regular body, she always worked hard to be something more than the usual.
Eu fui saber um pouco mais assim da história do Arnold.
So later, the 19th, she started to work at the expos as a promoting at the booths. So she started to saw more people, saw more muscular people, and to know about more about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of course seeing the bodybuilder stain because she didn't even have no idea how all the process worked to get on stage. So it started the late 19s and 20s.
She reminds me of a younger version of Anna Freitas. I'm not sure if she knows.
Annie
Yeah.
Freitas,
Yes.
Yeah, I can see
ele
that.
falou que você lembra. Annie Freitas é brasileira.
Yes.
É, brasileira. Ah, nossa, a Anne
Nowadays, Annie Freitas, it's her inspiration, especially because all the transformations that she got through because she changed from body fitness, figuring, woman's physique, bodybuilding, and later she came back to woman's physique and all this transformation. She always remained with that small waist and big
And
legs,
feminine, yeah.
calves, and feminine, the upper body super strong, and all those things really calls her attention.
See, I was spot on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You discovered right out. Falou, acertei.
É. Cara, ela é muito maravilhosa.
Yeah, you hit that nail right on the head, Ock. That was right on
Yeah.
the money, brother.
Nick, I'm not sure if you know if when you finish the podcast, you could look up this. She used to be a female bodybuilder before named Anne Freitas. She was
Yeah.
one of the Brazilian competitors who had, God, some of the most amazing legs you probably would ever see in a woman. Ain't crazy.
É, inclusive, eu encontrei com ela.
She got pretty emotional because she met Annie Freitas at the expo during the expo. We shoot that meeting, and she said, "Oh, she talked with me, and she analyzed my body, my physique, and she said that I have a potential for the stage." She said, "Of course, she's still afraid. She doesn't see her on stage, and she doesn't see that potential that Annie Freitas talked to her and explained to her and pointed to her. So it's something that the twisted mind of bodybuilders, right? Never see the incredible physique that they have."
Back in 2015, I think I did the Houston Pro. I think it was Houston. I think it was out in Houston, and she also competed at that show. And man, I tell you, like compared to the male bodybuilders, compared to her, she like probably had the best legs on stage.
Yeah, her husband is also her trainer, her coach, and he's great here in Brazil, super famous about doing great athletes at all the categories. And you know, the women's from Brazil.
I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna tell you. We have Juliana Malacarne. We have Juliana Malacarne, who was 4-time Miss Olympia. We have Natalia Coelho. We have Dani Castillo. We have a lot of athletes, good athletes in all the divisions, the female divisions. And during the expo, the one that won the pro card for women's physique, she has a huge legs and great potential for being the next woman's bodybuilding for Brazil too. You can check it out. Her Instagram is Mulher Pedra. I'm gonna spell you guys. MULHERPEDRA. So we call the woman of the Stone Woman. Yeah. It's her nickname. She just got her pro card, and probably she's gonna be woman's bodybuilder because her body is just like.
Ela tem problema, né, de.
She has a syndrome. If you go back on her Instagram, that woman that we're talking about, she has a syndrome that she doesn't have fat any place. Not it's the regular fat. Of course, she has fat inside of the muscles and some places, so she would be alive. But she has a syndrome that she had more fat in this area, Like if she gets fat, like eating a lot, she gonna start growing this part. She already take it off in a plastic surgery, but it can come back. But in her body,
Wow.
nothing at all. She's super shredded, super deep cuts, and it's amazing.
I have that syndrome, but it all grows on my belly.
E tem essa síndrome, mas é tudo na barriga.
I'm just glad all I have to do is lift
move, but it comes back every time. I gotta meet the
You don't
surgeon.
Nick doesn't need to worry about fat, right?
Nope, I just need to lift. I just need to pick stuff up and go fast.
That's it. That's it.
But I don't want a big belly, but yeah,
You've never had
pick it up and lift.
It happens.
You've never had a big belly, and you never will, I'm sure. You know, that's just you. So, Alessandra, you mentioned how obviously, forgive me, what was the lady's name so I don't mispronounce it? We were just talking about. You brought her up.
And Fritas.
Yes, and Fritas. So obviously, Alessandra sees her as this figure and motivation. Does she's now that to all of her fans and so many other people? Does she enjoy being in that position where she's an inspiration and she inspires people to become the best version of themselves?
So she sees Annie Freitas like a great inspiration because she went from an extreme and went to another and came back and did all the transformations to her body. And she said if she's totally capable to do all this, so I will be able to do that too. So she's trying hard to get more focus on everything as Annie Freitas does.
Well, Alessandra is also a huge inspiration for everybody, just like on Fritas. Does she understand that she's having such a big impact on people as Ann Fritas? Does she understand that she's already having a big impact on the people around her and social media?
John, I think you need to simplify the question, John.
Okay, you simplify it for me. I talk too much, Hawk.
Aretha, basically, what he's saying is just like how Anna Fritas inspired her, now she's inspiring a lot more people. She has the same impact like Anna Fritas has for a lot of people.
Eu tô começando a entender isso agora. Agora que eu tô.
That's the response we're looking for.
She's starting to.
Eu não tinha noção.
She's starting to notice this type of relation with fans right now because she didn't have this notion. Because when we are in the expos, during the expos with her walking around, because I walk everywhere, and she's like, everybody's stopping her to take a picture. Somebody starts screaming, something like that. And see how you can understand that you inspire people. That's my question for her. So what she's saying that right now, of course, she's noticing that like once she was just walking on the street in Rio and a guy stopped the car and came in her direction and said, Alessandra, I need to take a picture of you. And he started shaking and lost his phone and it was and she said, calm down, I'm going to do the picture. Don't worry. And he said, oh, you can understand how great you are in my life because I started training because of you. I started dieting because of you. And you changed my life because of that. She explaining her vision. It's like that limited, like that was like that because she came from a really small city. Like she was just a person that liked to train. People didn't have the understanding that she was something else. And when she got into social media, she was only posting her stuff, like my pictures, my clothes, like a personal blog, like a personal Instagram. And it started growing like that.
Yeah, because she did it herself and she's genuine. And when you do it yourself and you're genuine, people are going to pick up on that and they're going to respect that. There's so much out there now that's fake and false that when the genuine thing and the genuine article comes up, they're really going to have a lot of respect for that. And they're going to idolize you for it, and rightfully so. They should, because you're a good example for people to see, and it's really neat that you get to do that.
So she started doing the things that he usually do, and she discovered by herself how her body worked, how her body started growing.
Mhm.
It was something pretty, like, with no other interference, just by herself, her knowledge with food, the food and the training. Only when she get into MuscleMeds, she started using the supplements and she felt the difference. But for a long time, as she started young, she started with 14, she was only the basics because she didn't have access to information too and all these different things that goes on online. And people that follows her like keep asking her how you did it, how you made it, what did you, and she tries to post about her routine, about daily basics, everything that she does, and to motivate people. But people must understand that the basics works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What does she eat on a daily basis? What does her diet look like currently?
Eu não
Her
tenho.
diet, it's very simple and easy, and of course she's having the help of some supplements like Carnivore meal, that it's a shake, that it's already everything inside. It's a meal ready to go, and with that kind of help she doesn't need to worry too much what to eat, and when she needs a lot of protein, and it helps a lot of digestion and in her day. But the rest of it, it's pretty the basics.
Eu procuro assim, no dia que eu treino inferiores, por exemplo, mas vai chegar.
She's never restrict with her diet, when she
She's not?
trains, restrict, sorry. And when she trains like legs, she try to eat a little bit more. When she doesn't do cardio or training upper body, she eats less, and it's not something very perfect 100%. She eats what she feels that she needed, and she thinks when she's get that point that she will do like 100% diet perfect, she will impress a lot of people, because she's still in the path to go there. She's not there yet, but she will get it.
Well, tell her she's got the part of impressing people. She's got that part of the problem solved already.
Done.
Yeah.
She's very proud about her genetics. That's it, the point, because she said, and I can assure that she never did one day of 100% diet. Of course, there's some people that are gonna say, "Oh, she's lying. She's just mocking of us," but she's not. It's the truth. She's always very honest about that. And sometimes she posts cookies and this kind. Às vezes você posta, né? Você tá comendo as bolachas, os salgadinhos.
What's your
A pessoa pega essa dieta. Eu falo, gente, se eu falar pra vocês o que eu faço,
you guys wanna get her killed because if you guys really want to know what she eats, like, everybody gonna want to kill her now. So it's better to stay and give more details, because people won't believe it. But trust me, believe it.
I'm jealous. I can just look at a cookie and fat cells start to grow.
ele olha para cookie e já fica gordo, só de olhar. She has a sweet tooth. She eats everything.
No, that's okay.
And
what's your favorite cookie? What's your favorite
cookie? She eats chocolate, ice cream. She eats everything.
Oh, god damn.
Eu sou uma bodybuilder errada, mas deu certo.
That's a genetic gift, because myself is a perfect example. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. If I like I said, I can look at something sweet and I start getting fat. So I'm very jealous. Tell her I'm very jealous of her and what she can do.
Of course, her genetic helps, but when she started, she always worked very hard. She always did like super heavy training, and she believes that beginning it helps a lot her right now because it was before any injury and it was before anything. So she always challenging herself to increase the weight every week. So all this type of mindset and training, she believes that helps a lot because when she goes to an expo or do some shows or photos, she can like change her body like this, and her body responds to any different stimulation that she gets.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit because I know that it's the question for both you, Aretha and Alessandra. I know you guys just had the Honor Classic South America, and I'm
Yeah,
sure both of you guys attended.
yeah, did it.
So I just need to just want to hear your point of view about how the show was. There was a little bit of controversy that happened down there. So just talk to us a little bit
Mhm.
about that, being that you guys were there to actually experience the whole thing.
Eu tinha que ficar transitando pela feira.
So she went. Of course, she went to the expo, but her job was to walk around. So she didn't get the option to stop and stare at the stage.
Competition.
She watched it only her friend, the amateur woman's physique. They got the pro card,
Okay.
and but the rest of it, she thinks it was really fair.
Okay.
Okay, my turn
Yes.
now.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hear it. Get in there. Get in there and start mixing it
Gotta
up,
take a drink first.
Aretha. Let us have it. Give it to us straight.
Okay, so the show was very good organized by Tamar and Tarek El Gindi, and it was a blast. We had like 13 athletes over there on the stage battling. Of course, the majority of them was Brazilians, and we saw a couple of athletes for of a couple of overseas athletes too. We had Arash, we had Emir, we had Emir is from Germany, Arash is from Iran. There was another guy there from Iran too, and the Kutelo, a guy from South Africa. He couldn't made it at the time of the prejudging, so he wasn't able to go up on stage during the prejudging. So he left the stage crying, and he he tried everything, talked to everyone, but it wasn't possible because he wasn't on time. Arash got late too. Arash got late too, but he could he was able. He was just starting the prejudging, so he got up on the stage without warm up, without putting the oil. He was like just how he arrived at the show. He went up to the stage. So that's why the Brazilians dominated, probably. And the top five was Emir. He's a 23-year guy. He was in top five. He's from Germany. I don't know how to say his surname, so please. And the top four was William Martins. That's a big guy down here too, because you guys know the Brazilian genetics are not super freak. We don't have men's open they're super huge. We have like something in the middle and sometimes more for the classic lines. And Tamer, I think Tamer always focus on the condition. It's his favorite part. Of course, he was the hazer back in the days when he was an athlete. So he really likes the condition. And the two guys on the top, that was Vitor Boff and Rafael Brandão, both of them were very conditioned. During the prejudging, Vitor got 1 point in front of Rafael, but everything changed. And even Rafael assumed that he was 100%. He said he came with the strategy to not coming 100% during the prejudging, not pushing too much the body during the prejudging, and do actually the show during the finals. And his physique and of course his presentation was insane, like drive everyone crazy. You know how Brazilians are. during a show. It is like a soccer game. Everybody's names, everybody saying it loud. It's super. The energy was super high over there, and Brandon got the winning after the posing and his routine, and of course more battles on the stage. But both of them were pretty good. The third place was Thiago Lins. He's known by being bigger, so Tamara, of course, choose to focus on condition first, and the lines, and later the volume, the size. It was his preference. The controversy was that because everyone got to both, Victor both, the top second, and later tonight everything changed. And I asked them why, and they gave me this explanation. What do you want to add, Akim? You want to say something? I'm feeling it.
Yeah, let's hear it, Doc.
I mean, I Raphael is my boy. I love him. I competed against him a lot, and well-deserved win. Like you said, he came back in the final, then he looked amazing. So congratulations on his victory.
Improve it, yeah.
I did think it was pretty close in prejudging. Certain shots I like the second place guy. I think his name is Bo, right? And certain shots I like Raphael because Raphael had better lines, more symmetrical than he was. So I understand why they went with Raphael. I think it was fair because like I said, his symmetry was definitely better than Victor. And mostly I think the controversy was for me was the fact that guy, the guy from South Africa, he was there for the tanning or whatever, but for some reason he couldn't make it on that stage, and he said he was given the wrong address. He actually went online and posted some stuff that the promoters gave him the wrong address and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. I wasn't there, so I can't speak on that. So I'm not sure if you heard anything along those lines as in terms of him giving the wrong address.
Actually, I'm gonna have him here tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to do a podcast with him about that. And I really want to know what happened because I looked for him during the expo, and I couldn't talk with him during the event. I don't know, but of course he was super sad. He was not going to be walking around. I wouldn't.
Well, the interesting thing will be is if they did send him the wrong address, he's going to have it on his phone and he'll be able to show you.
Yeah. Well, he did say something about him.
That's a good point for me to
him not having Wi-Fi.
You can have to look at it.
Yeah. So my backstory on this whole concept is back in 2019, I had not a similar situation to that, but it was a very difficult time getting to Brazil and getting to compete because it was on my fault that I didn't know that you needed a visa to get into Brazil.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So I showed up at the airport thinking I could just show my passport and get in, and they told me I couldn't fly. So I literally had to go sleep at the Brazilian embassy in New York. I spent the night there actually to get a same-day visa to get into Brazil. And credit to me and Oscar, my coach, for basically getting off the plane and coming straight to the venue. We didn't even check into the hotel. We had our luggage and everything at the venue.
Yeah, you came with it.
Yeah,
I was with you.
Yeah, you remember?
I remember that. I was texting you. Where are you, Lucky?
So I didn't even have time to get off the flight and do anything. Like I literally from the airport, from the plane, I showed up at the venue and stepped on stage. So I was still retaining.
Did you even get a chance to pump up or anything?
Well, a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to relax because I was still retaining water from the flight and everything like that.
Yeah.
You lost 10 pounds overnight after the prejudging for the finals. You lost them. It was a good point because that time the prejudging was on Friday and the finals on Saturday.
Saturday, exactly.
But this last Arnold, everything happened on Saturday.
On the same day. Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able even to do it, and you even got the third place.
Yeah, I still came in third place. Yeah, that's right. I did lose like 10 pounds from the prejudging to the final. I dropped 10 pounds.
That's
He dropped
crazy.
10 pounds
Wow.
overnight. So today, everybody, please come to my podcast at Generation R Brazil. We want to know, and we will know what really happened with Sibusiso Kutelo,
Okay.
the South African athlete.
Well, I guess we'll
Yeah.
find out what happened after all once you get the information. So very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Well, that's obviously an interesting look at what happened that we would have never known unless obviously that topic came up. That's interesting stuff. Very cool.
Mhm.
Very good. So back to our focus here, Alessandra. So, question with training. Do you train because you love to train, or you train because you want to compete?
Você começou a treinar porque você queria treinar. So she's saying that she never thought about competing. She trained because she really loved to compete, to train and
Yeah.
challenge herself and put all her problems over there, like a therapy. And
Yes.
that she believes that's why it really worked and happened like this. So right now that she having more contact with this world and wondering about that, but not.
Eu sinto
Ainda não
segura.
é o foco, né? She feels too much insecurities to go on stage, you know. Você é tímida também, né?
Sou bastante.
She's shy. It doesn't look like, but she's shy. And when we talk about these things about doing a posing and mandatory pose, all these things, it's like pretty hard for her.
Tell her I totally understand, because I love to train, and competing and do the other things is just kind of the side effect of training. Training is what's important to me because it's therapy. You know, it keeps me happy, keeps me level-headed. And for me personally, it's actually very spiritual, you know. Does she find a spiritual element in her training also?
Então, para ele também é a mesma. Exactly, that's how she feels.
That's the way it should be, because when you're doing it because you love it, when you're doing it because it makes you a better version of yourself, competing is just kind of a positive side effect. So tell her she's on she's on the right track. That's where you really become the best on stage or in your competition.
Então você tá realmente no caminho certo. She's just great, just great.
Yeah. Okay. Confirmation. There we go.
Yeah.
So if Alessandra, if you could go back 10 years and give yourself a piece of advice, so you today goes back 10 years to the younger you, what advice do you give yourself?
A pressa é inimiga da perfeição. E eu só descobri isso.
So she would say to her younger version to be more patient and take your time, because you're gonna have what you have to have in your life in the right time, in the right place. So just do your best, then you're gonna get there.
Yes, I agree. That's great. That's a great piece of advice. So, okay, so she's made a huge impact already on the fitness industry, and she's just getting started. There's so much more to come for Alessandra. But once she's actually dead and gone, what does she want to be remembered for when she passes? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
sorry, I'm trying to make sure that
a little more.
That's dramatic. That's dramatic. No.
Let's scratch the dramatic part. She's made a huge impact on right now. She's made a huge impact already, and she's going to make an even greater impact. But there's going to come a time where, you know, that part of her will be gone. What does she want to be remembered for?
Saí debaixo da asa da minha mãe muito cedo.
So she wanna be remembered by her brave. How she was brave to get out of her comfort zone, to get out of her small city back in Espírito Santo, that's the state here in Brazil, and face her fears and face the life and pursue her goals. So that's how she want to be remembered.
Well, that's beautiful, because I'll tell you, one thing that we really want to show on this show is, she's a beautiful woman with a beautiful physique, but she's actually a beautiful person. And I think that's what people can't see that about her on social media. So I really hope that we've kind of helped our listeners register and understand what a beautiful person she is.
She's very happy about that. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, we've had you guys on here for almost 90 minutes, and we really want to thank you for your time. It was great having you on the show. And like I said, I really hope, I know that our listeners are going to watch this and realize how much more to Alessandra there is besides her beautiful physique. So I'm really glad we got a chance to show the world that she's such a beautiful person. Nick and Ak, do you have anything else before we wrap up?
No, it's just been a pleasure, and wish her continued success. And ARETHA, I want to thank you so much for 2019. You definitely took care of me when I was out there, and I'm forever grateful. I still remember the burgers we went to have, so thank you so much.
Yeah. Just relax a little bit because you were so sad, so stressed.
Yeah.
I would be the same. But it's a great time with you too. And then if you need Akim, just let me know. Here in Brazil, I got your back.
Thank you so much.
Essa é 1h10, passou muito rápido devido ao.
She's very happy for the opportunity. It was a great time. She didn't even see the time passing by. And it was a great pleasure to talk with you guys. And if you guys want to repeat that, she will be available.
Awesome.
Nick,
I just want to say thank you to both of you so much for your time. And it's really neat because you're both very special people. And it's great to get an opportunity to see the inside and get more of your personalities that people just don't see out to the public, and just how loving and caring both of you are, and have the rest of the world see that. So thank you for taking the time to do this for us.
Yes.
I'm super happy for that too. Thanks so much for your words. Thanks so much, guys, for having me here too. And
that's it. What else can we ask for? We've got two beautiful Brazilian beauties we got to hang out with for the last 90 minutes. We're three happy Americans right here, So anyway,
that's cool.
That being said, thank you guys.
So nice.
I really appreciate your time. There you have it. There's another edition of Legends of Iron. We hope that we have inspired you to become the best versions of yourself. As always, we will see you next time. Legends of Iron is brought to you by MuscleMeds.
Eating like a bodybuilder is not cheap. I mean, have you seen the recent cost of steaks lately? Thankfully, I'm able to get all my meals in and hit my macros for just a fraction of the price with Carnivore Lean Meal, MuscleMeds' newest innovative whole food meal replacement.
Compare Carnivore Lean Meal to a typical bodybuilding meal. Carnivore Lean Meal stacks up in protein and carbs with none of the fat, but a carnivore shake is only about $3 per meal.
Get my 6 meal in. This is what I use right here. This is meal number 6. It's my Carnivore Lean Meal. It's a combination of carbs combined with protein. It's actually made from real sweet potatoes and white potatoes, so can't beat that. Tastes awesome. Love that product. And to top it all off, guys, it's lactose-free and sugar-free. Stop overpaying for your meals and eat clean with Carnivore Lean Meal. It's better than any meal you can cook yourself at a fraction of the price.